Hey, my name is Chris Bias, and my topic for this presentation is burnout. So, what is burnout? According to the Webster Dictionary, in verb form, burnout refers to being overworked and exhausted. Synonyms for burnout include collapse, exhaustion, fatigue, frazzle, tiredness, or weariness. And synonyms for the verb usage include break, bust, do in, do up, drain, exhaust, fatigue, frazzle, knock out, outwear, tire, wash out, wear out, or weary. So, a brief history of the concept of burnout. It was originally termed by an American psychoanalyst by the name of Herbert Freudenberger, uh, and he coined the term sometime in the early 70s. Freudenberger used the term burnout to refer to a condition that he observed in his clients, referring to them as a burned out building. Freudenberg's meaning of burnout was applied to describe the way that people, especially in human service jobs, became overly invested in their client's condition in a way that would cause them to feel depleted, both emotionally and physically. The term burnout was later expanded to include a variety of careers, such as bankers, homemakers, managers, and students, who all experience the same psychological and physiological conditions as the individuals in the human service careers. So, burnout in relation to organizational psychology um, means that it happens when an individual is unable to adapt to stressors within the organizational environment. Common stressors include role stressors, uh, which are a perceived inability to meet multiple demands required by the job or a conflict of different roles, such as a work family conflict. Workload means that the amount of work an individual is required to do within a specified time is either too much or there's not enough time to do the amount required. There can be interpersonal conflicts, such as negative interactions with others, which can lead to a sense of job dissatisfaction and a lack of fulfillment, and also organizational constraints, where an employee feels that they lack the necessary resources to successfully or adequately perform their task. So, attributes of burnout, there can be many of them, and a lot of them can closely resemble depression. Burnout characteristics can be broad and difficult to generalize, though several attributes as they relate to the workplace can be identified. There is a loss of enjoyment in the work being done. A person experiencing burnout will typically not want to go to work. They'll experience cynicism while at work and may begin to take extended breaks and lunches, along with personally withdrawing from the work and related activities because they want little to nothing to do with anything that involves work or coworkers. And this may escalate to increased absenteeism and possibly turnover. Uh, also, there is exhaustion. Work-related stress can exceed the worker's ability to adapt and recover, either mentally, physically, or both, resulting in persistent feelings of fatigue that can affect typical activities of daily living and may also contribute to decreased work performance and production. And then burnout can be hopeless and apathetic. Feeling hopeless, the burned out worker may feel alienated from work, along with feeling powerless to improve the work environment, with thoughts that nothing at work will ever change. The burned out worker may also feel that their work makes no difference, or they don't care about the outcome of their performance, and feel that it's even pointless. There can be depersonalization from the work being done. This can be described as a psychological removal from the environment, where the person mentally dissociates from the environment that is causing physical and cognitive overload. Depersonalization could serve as an unhealthy coping mechanism, as the person experiencing burnout may have lost the ability to cope with high stress and demands in a healthy way. And then there's cynicism. Chronic stress and feelings of being overloaded can lead to negative feelings toward the work being done, negativity and irritability towards coworkers, and similar feelings, accompanied by skepticism towards those in authoritative positions. A person experiencing cynicism may begin to feel that those around them are selfish, greedy, and that their work is meaningless. Cynicism may manifest as hypercriticism, of many variables present within a workplace, such as how work is accomplished, decisions that are being made and enforced, and of the personalities that surround them. So, precursors to burnout consist of generally four components. There is an imbalance between demands and resources. This results in stress. There is a cognitive evaluation of the situation. The stimulus is perceived as a threat or challenge, and this can be influenced by personality and motivational factors. And then there's a psychological response that affirms the evaluation of stress. And then this is followed by a behavioral response that manifests in two forms. There is task behavior, such as decreased performance, and then there are coping responses, such as withdrawal, substance abuse, etc. So the burnout conducive work environment consists of one that has high demands, which conflict with available resources. There is low social support, low autonomy, low perceived reward, low demands that facilitate boredom, and then this environment is persistent over time as well. The consequences of burnout are physiological, psychological, and behavioral. There is a physical susceptibility to illness, difficulty sleeping, headaches, general fatigue or exhaustion, changes in appetite and eating habits, and adrenal fatigue. And there can even become uh, chronic issues such as hypertension. Then there is psychological negative self-talk or negative self-perception of their task competence, anxiety, depression, strained interpersonal relationships, hopelessness, irritability, and impatience. And then there can be withdrawal, decreased performance, attrition, oppositional behavior, such as refusal to do what is asked, moodiness, decreased tolerance for situations or people. So unresolved burnout will lead to decreased job satisfaction and performance, reduced organizational commitment, counterproductive work behaviors, which are a cluster of deviant workplace behaviors, such as absenteeism, sabotage, abuse, whether verbal or physical, and theft, along with production deviance. So production deviance consists of anything from minor to serious or interpersonal or organizationally directed. Minor interpersonal directed consists of spreading rumors, showing favoritism, backstabbing. Minor organizationally directed consists of absenteeism, lateness, withholding effort. And then serious interpersonal directed consists of things like sexual harassment, verbal abuse, and physical assault. And then the organizationally directed serious consists of things like theft, sabotage, and vandalism. So then, whenever a person experiences decreased job satisfaction, there's eventually a consideration of the turnover process where the person thinks about their job. They decide whether it's either satisfying or dissatisfying. Then they think of quitting. They evaluate the expected utility of the search and the cost. Basically, is it worth looking? If they deem it worth looking, then they actually look and they'll search for alternatives. They'll evaluate alternatives in light of their present situation, and then they'll determine their intention to either quit or stay, followed by quitting or staying. I think that most likely if somebody is persistently burned out, they end up quitting. There are also organizational consequences of burnout. There is decreased production performance, decreased organizational commitment and or job impediments from your employees, increased absenteeism, followed by increased turnover. And turnover can be pretty expensive, especially if you take a skilled worker like a nurse. The average cost of turnover for one registered nurse can range from $33,000 to $56,000. And then if your company gets a reputation for being bad to work for, you can have difficulty attracting qualified employee prospects. And basically, you're getting the people that are coming to you because they can't find anywhere else to go. As far as the current state of scientific knowledge, most studies focus on causes of burnout and related factors. Few studies focus on psychological or physical symptoms or pursue the establishment of diagnostic criteria. Burnout has been increasing as a topic of mental health within the last 40 years and has become one of the most widely discussed topics within the mental health arena. The term burnout syndrome has been developed to describe those who suffer work-related stress, exhaustion, and fatigue, and is being studied in a wide variety of occupational settings from teachers to the medical profession and financial sector. Burnout remains a controversial diagnosis due to the ambiguity of research. And here we can see the state of research ranging from 1978 to 2011. Um, as research continues to gain interest in mental health in general, there's more research about burnout that's being performed as well. And we can see here in the upper left-hand corner of the graph the types of research that are being done, with the leading being causes and associated factors. Number 2, prevalence. 3, intervention study. 4, psychological and somatic symptoms, followed by psychometric study, and then the last one is biomarkers. And they all appear to have an overall upward trajectory in general. So recommendations for burnout prevention in the workplace means being proactive in identifying the most common causes of burnout in the workplace, determining the type and level of burnout present in employees through intermittent, meaning baseline and annual questionnaire administration, such as the Maslow Burnout Inventory General Survey or the Perceived Stress Scale. Develop a burnout prevention education program, teaching work-related skills and interventions based upon cognitive behavior methods for managing stressors, and teach how to develop self-initiated anticipatory behaviors which can be utilized to change the situation itself or the perception of the situation. Further recommendations include increasing and maintaining employee job control, increase and maintain adequate resources, increase and maintain leadership support, encourage social support among coworkers, give timely feedback about performance and results, seek task and challenge that will energize employees, identify and reduce hindering job demands, and encourage a healthy work-life balance, along with increase, encourage, enable, and maintain the maintenance of physical and psychological health. So implementation evaluation criteria consist of identifying the goal. We want to prevent or reduce burnout, monitor baseline and annual burnout questionnaire results, note increases or decreases in counterproductive work behavior, be aware of the presentation and persistence of increased or decreased job performance, maintain astuteness to employee attitudes, behaviors, and comments which could imply burnout or consideration of the turnover process, and reflect on the cause and effect of turnover occurrence. You'd always want to follow up with an exit interview to identify potential organizational issues which can be addressed to prevent future turnover. And these are my references. I know the print is small here, and I apologize about that, and I can provide these with more clarity if necessary. Anyhow, that is my presentation on burnout. I hope it's been informative, and I appreciate your time for listening. Thank you.